Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to our Week 16 NFL predictions, which at this point in the season is just a coin toss due to the utter chaos that happened last week. And before we go into Week 16, let's go ahead and take a look at our results from Week 15, where we actually did pretty well. I went 12-4. I think my best week ever. So I'm pretty proud of myself for this. First, I was able to get the 49ers correct, the Vikings correct, even though that was not the way I thought it was going to go. Absolutely insane. Ravens, I got wrong. I thought that Lamar might have been able to come back. He was not. The Browns were able to win that game. Got the Bills correct. Saints, Eagles, Lions correct. I got the Panthers wrong. I thought they would be able to take care of the Steelers. They did not. I'm very proud of this one. I picked Jacksonville. Very happy with myself there. Got the Chiefs right, even though that was very close. The Broncos got right. Patriots got wrong due to boneheaded idiocy on the Patriots. Chargers got right. Bengals right. Did not get the Commanders correct, but I was also able to get the Packers correct. And so let us go on to Week 16 with a very intriguing Thursday night football match between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. The Jaguars were able to beat the Dallas Cowboys in overtime in dramatic fashion. Their offense under Trevor Lawrence is really starting to look good, like superbly good. And then we got the New York Jets, who have kind of been on the downswing recently due to lack of offense. And Zach Wilson had us in like the first quarter, not gonna lie, but ended up reverting back to his own ways, only scoring 17 points against the Lions. So even though the Jets defense is super good, I just trust the offense of the Jaguars more than the Jets. For that reason, going with the Jaguars. And then we have a bunch of games on Christmas Eve on the 24th, beginning with the Bills taking on the Bears. The Bills were able to beat the Dolphins in a close game last Saturday, and the Bears lost a very sloppy mess against the Eagles. I'm picking Buffalo. They're the more talented team. The Bears got nothing to play for. The Bills are going to win the game. And then we have a very intriguing game of the New Orleans Saints taking on the Cleveland Browns. The Saints were able to beat the Falcons last week, who started Desmond Ridder as a rookie. And the Browns were able to beat the Ravens, who have no offense. This is going to be a very interesting game. A lot of people seem to be picking the Browns. I don't see it. I really don't. I think the Saints' offense is more explosive. And the Browns are just kind of stuck in no man's land at all. So, gonna go with the Saints there. And then we got a. Man, I don't even know what to do with this game because both these teams have been stinking recently. Well, the Texans have been stinking all year, but the past two games, they've actually played close against two really talented teams in the Cowboys and Chiefs. And the Titans, man, I don't know what to do with you. I'm going to go with Tennessee mainly because I think the Texans are that bad and Derrick Henry normally thrives against the Texans. It's going to be a close game, but I do think Tennessee is talented enough to win it, which is kind of sad considering it is the Texans. Then we got the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. The Seahawks have been going downhill recently. Their hot start has been nullified by recent stretches, and the Chiefs, I just think they're going to tear that secondary of the Seahawks apart. Nothing really going good for Seattle right now. I think Kansas City is going to win the game. And next we have the New York Giants taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings just completed the biggest comeback in regular season history against the Colts. Whereas the Giants were able to squeak out a Sunday Night Football victory against the Commanders. I think the Vikings are going to win this game, mainly just because I do think they're a more talented team. The Giants are injured and not very good, but they're really overachieving. But I do think Minnesota is going to win that game. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the New England Patriots. The Bengals were able to come back from a 17-point deficit against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to pick up a victory. And the Patriots, well, we all know what happened to them against the Raiders. I'm picking the Bengals. They're red hot right now. Very, very dangerous. I would not be surprised if they were able to go back to another Super Bowl. The Bengals are no longer the Bungles. And the NFL's got to be worried about that. And then we got the Detroit Lions taking on the Panthers. The Lions were able to get a win against a very tough defense in the Jets. That's right, they played the Jets. I'm sorry for the lack of thought there. And the Panthers, they lost to the Steelers. I'm going to pick with the Lions. They have been absolutely on fire since they started 1-6. They have now been 6-1 in their last 7 games. The only loss being on a last-second field goal to the Bills, who I think are the best team in football. And now, Detroit's scary. I'm scared. And then we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be an absolutely ugly game. Ugly game. And I'm going to pick the Ravens because I think their defense is going to give Desmond Ridder an absolute awful game. And I think their offense is going to do just enough to win like maybe 13-10. That game is going to be ugly. Then we have the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Washington Commanders. The Commanders lost to the Giants on Sunday Night Football, whereas the 49ers were able to beat the Seahawks pretty easily on Thursday night. I'm going to pick with the 49ers because their defense is going to give Taylor Heinicke an absolute day. Purdy doesn't have to do much to win. So I think that the 49ers are going to be able to win that game. Then we got a 4:25 game and a very important game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. The Eagles will not have Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback. He is out for the remainder at least the regular season with a shoulder injury. But they do have Gardner Minshew, who is a very quality quarterback, and as a backup. And the Cowboys, they just blew a massive lead to the Jaguars. They were sloppy. I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think the Eagles are a better coachful team. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. And I think that their defense is going to really do a number on the Cowboys. And then we have a very sad game. The Raiders versus the Steelers on the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. They were going to retire Franco Harris's number at halftime. And that has a whole new meaning because we found out earlier today that Franco Harris, NFL Hall of Famer, Pittsburgh legend, sadly passed away earlier today at the age of 72. And the Steelers, I think they're going to play hard for him. They're going to run the ball down the Raiders' throat. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to have the echoes of the Steel Curtain on there. And I think they are going to do it for Franco Harris. May he rest in peace, an absolute legend of the game. And then we have 3 games on Christmas Day. Starting off with the Packers taking on the Dolphins. The Packers were able to get a much-needed victory against the Rams on Monday Night Football. And the Dolphins lost a close game to the Bills. The Dolphins have lost 3 straight games, but they all been against good opponents. And the way they play offense totally counteracts the Packers' defense. Not going to deny that. But I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to pick the Packers. They have to win this game in order to keep pace and keep close in the playoff race. So I'm going to go with the Packers there. And, oh, God, the Broncos and... Oh, no. This game is... I understand in the beginning of the year this looked like a good match between Russell Wilson and Matt Stafford. But we're probably going to have Brett Rippon versus Baker Mayfield. And I don't know. Let's just do a coin toss. I'm not going to do that yet. So Broncos visit team are tails. Rams are heads. So let's flip it. Gonna go with the Rams. And then we got another kind of crappy game between the Buccaneers and Cardinals. Cardinals maybe down to Trace McSorley as the quarterback. For that reason alone, I am going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And picking the Chargers. The Colts blew a 33-point lead against the Vikings. And no amount of Nick Foles is going to help there. I think the Chargers are going to win that game. I'm going to pick 45 points. And so those are my predictions for NFL Week 16. It's got a lot to live up to compared to last week. So let's see what wild ride we're getting ourselves into today. And I'll see you guys again next time.